Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video we're going to learn how to crochet a baby jacket which is crocheted from the top down in one piece. As we go through the increases on the top going downwards, we're creating the front parts, the sleeves and the back part of the jacket. Then we go downwards and the pieces are being made separately are the rest of the rows for the sleeves and the collar. Let's go ahead and see how to get started. The yarn that I'm going to be using is Alize Baby Best, which is 3.53 ounces and 262 yards. It's 90% acrylic and 10% bamboo. Okay, so before we start, I want to explain how we're going to use our stitches. So I'm giving you guys the chart so you know with how many stitches you have to start for different ages. So we are going to crochet a jacket which is 12 to 18 months. Okay, so the stitches that we're going to need to start with is 63 plus 6. And here is how we're going to spread out our stitches throughout our chain in row 1. So if I add up all these numbers, 10, 12, 19, 12, and 10, I have a total of 63 stitches. The plus 6 is the 2 stitches, the 2 chain stitches that I need to turn my work to row 1. And the other 4 stitches from the plus 6 are my 4 different increases that I'm going to make in order to have the front part, the sleeve, the back part, the other sleeve, and the other front part of my jacket. Okay? So again, if I add up all of these numbers, I get 63, and the plus 6 are my 4 increases throughout my jacket, and the other 2 stitches are my 2 chains that I need to turn to row 1, so I have all of my stitches out correctly. Okay, now these measurements and these chains to start our work with are being made with yarn that's medium weight and with a 4mm crochet hook. If you are going to use thinner yarn and a smaller crochet hook such as 3, if you want to crochet for a 12 to 18 months old baby, go ahead and work the stitches for the next age, okay? And measure with your measuring tape to make sure they're coming out right. Now if you crochet with a bigger crochet hook and a thicker yarn, let's say you're crocheting with a 5mm crochet hook and you want to make a 12 to 18 months jacket, go ahead and work the stitches for the previous age, which is 6 to 12 months old. Again, measure with your measuring tape to make sure that the measurements are correct, the chest measurements and the armhole measurements. Okay, so I'm going to keep working rows of increases up until my armhole is 10 centimeters and the chest measurements are correct as well. So let's go ahead and start our baby jacket. So let's go ahead and start. I've already started with my chain, so I have made a total of 69 chains as we mentioned earlier. Okay, so 63 plus 6, a total of 69. So now I'm going to turn to row 1 and I'm going to start by crocheting a total of 10 double crochet, and then I'm going to work my first increase. So since we're working double crochet, we're going to start by working from the fourth chain from our stitch. So count 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put your hook in the 4th stitch and work a double crochet. So by doing this, the first 3 chains count as our first double crochet for the row, and the double crochet that I just worked in the 4th chain counts as our second stitch. So we start counting from 2. Next stitch, 3, next one, 4, next one, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So after our 10th stitch, we're going to work our first increase. So I'm going to work 3 double crochet in the same chain. So go right ahead in the next chain and work 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, same stitch, 2, same stitch, 3. So we just worked the one front part of our jacket. Now after the first increase, we're going to work the sleeve, the one sleeve, okay? So now we're going to work 1 stitch in each of the next 12 stitches. We want to have 12 double crochet in a row. So starting from my next stitch, right over here, my next chain from the one that I just worked the increases, work 1 double crochet in each of those 12 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So after my 12th double crochet, in the next chain I'm going to work my next increase. So again, I'm going to work 3 double crochet in the same chain stitch. 1, same stitch, 2 in the same stitch, 3 double crochet. So I just finished crocheting on my first sleeve. Now after the second increase, we're starting to work the back of the jacket. So we worked 10 double crochet, increase, 12 double crochet, increase. Now we're going to work a total of 19 double crochet. So 1 double crochet in each of the next 19 stitches. Starting from the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So in the next stitch we're going to work our increase. Again, 3 double crochet in the next stitch. 1, same stitch, 2, same stitch, 3 double crochet. So after my 19 stitches, I'm going to work again 12 stitches, because from the back of my jacket I'm going to go right ahead and work again the other side of the sleeve, the other sleeve. This is the one front piece, this is the one sleeve, the back piece, second sleeve, and the second front part. So as I did over here. Again, here we're gonna work 12 double crochet. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So after my 12th double crochet, I'm going to work my 4th and last increase for this row. So right in the next stitch, go ahead and work again 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, same stitch, 2, same stitch, 3. Now I'm going to work into my last 10 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my last chain, 10. So this is how our jacket looks like so far. So these are the 2 front pieces, our 2 sleeves, and the back part of our jacket. Now let's go ahead and start row 2. Before we start though, we're going to put stitch markers just in case you get confused. So go ahead and find your first increase. Here's where we worked the 3 double crochet in the same stitch, okay? And as you see, I have my work turned, so this way we can find the 3 stitches easier. So here are my 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. In every second stitch in the center stitch, we're going to be working our increases in every row. So put your stitch marker in the second out of the 3 double crochet that we work on our increases. This is my second increase again. 1, 2, 3. Put your hook in the second stitch. Okay, we always put in the second stitch our stitch marker. Next increase, right over here, we have the 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Put your hook in the second stitch. And our last increase again. 1, 2, 3 double crochet. Put your hook in the second double crochet. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start row 2. Now we're going to start row 2. I'm going to start with a chain 1. If you prefer, you can start with a chain 3, which counts as our first double crochet for this stitch. So you're not going to start crocheting from the first stitch, you're going to start crocheting from the second double crochet. But I always prefer to start with only 1 chain. I only chain 1. And I start crocheting from the first stitch. So we're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch up until we reach the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in row 1, before the increase, we had 10 stitches. In row 2, right here in the beginning, we have 11 stitches before the increase, and that's because we have an extra stitch from the increase for this side. Now, in every row of increases that we're going to start, in the front pieces, in every new row, we're going to have one extra stitch than we had in the previous row. So I have 10 here and 10 here. So in the new row, in row 2, I'm going to have 11 stitches here and 11 stitches here. Now in the center pieces, on our sleeves and the back piece, because we have increases from 2 parts, from 2 increases, an extra stitch from 2 increases, I'm going to have 2 extra stitches here, 2 extra stitches from here, and 2 extra stitches from here. So the 12 stitches here are going to become 14, the 19 are going to become 21, the 12 are going to become 14, and the 10, same as here, are going to become 11. And that's because we get an extra stitch only from one increase. Now take out your stitch marker and again work a total of 3 double crochet in the same stitch right here. 1, 2, 3. Now starting to count from 1 again, I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch up until I reach my next stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So in the previous row we had 12, in this row we have a total of 14 stitches. Now take out your stitch marker and again work an increase, a total of 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Now starting to count from 1, I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch up until I reach my next stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 21. So in the previous row we had 19, and in this row we have 21. So take out your stitch marker so we can work our third increase with a total of 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Now starting to count from 1, go ahead and work 1 double crochet up until we reach the next stitch marker again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So same as here, when I crocheted the second row for the sleeve part, I had 14 stitches. Same amount of stitches I have over here. So in the previous row I had 12, and again here I have 14. Now take out your stitch marker so we can work our fourth and last increase for this row. 3 double crochet in the same stitch again. 1, 2, and 3. So now we're going to work the last stitches for this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and my 11th stitch, make sure you do not get confused, is the chain 3 that we used to start row 1. So those 3 chains, we said that they count as a double crochet, so put your hook in the third out of the 3 chains and work your last stitch for this row. So this is my 11th double crochet. So same as here in the beginning, I had 11 double crochet in row 2, same here. So now this is how our jacket looks like so far. Okay, so now we're going to start row 3, so turn your work, and again we're going to find our increases. Now this is the last row that we're going to do on camera, the last row of increases. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish my increases off camera, and then I'm going to turn my video back on and see how to put the pieces together to create the jacket and how to continue from there on. Okay, because every row of increase is being worked in the same exact way. Now this is our first increase right over here. So we have 1, 2, 3. Put your hook in the second double crochet. Now our second increase. We have 1, 2, 3. Again, put your hook in the second double crochet. Third increase. 1, 2, 3. Put your hook in the second stitch. And our last increase. 1, 2, 3. Again, put your hook in the second stitch. So now let's go ahead and start row 3, which is, as I mentioned, the last row of increases on camera. Now again, I am going to chain 1, turn my work, and since I'm chaining 1, I'm starting to crochet from the first double crochet. 1. So we're going to crochet 1 stitch in every stitch again up until we reach the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So in row 1 we had 10, row 2 11, in row 3 we have 12 stitches. Take out your stitch marker so we can work our first increase. Again, 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Now starting to count from 1 again, I'm going to crochet 1 stitch in every stitch up until I reach my next stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So in the sleeve part we had 12 in the first row, 14 in row 2, and 16 in row 3. Take out your stitch marker so we can work our second increase by working again 3 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Now start counting from 1 up until you reach your next stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So the back part, in row 1 we had 19, row 2 21 stitches, and now row 3 a total of 23 stitches. Now take out your stitch marker and go ahead and work your increase, a total of 3 stitches in the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And again, start counting from 1 up until your next stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. The same stitches as we had in the sleeve part on the opposite side. Take out your stitch marker and work your last increase for this row. 3 stitches in the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Now go ahead and work the last stitches for this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this is how our work looks like in row 3. Okay, so once we finish working our increases, what we're going to do is we're going to fold. See here and here that we have our sleeves. The increases, increase 1 and increase 2 are going to join together. Then increase 3 and increase 4 are going to join together. And see how our little baby jacket has started to form. These are going to be our sleeves right over here. So keep working increases in the same exact way in every row up until the total length for the sleeve is the total length that we want. As well, we want to be careful for the chest perimeter, the chest circumference. We want it to be correct as well. So in order to measure your chest circumference, you're going to have to measure from the one increase down here up until the other one. This is how you're going to find your chest, because since our jacket is going to close over here, this is the part that's going to be the body of our jacket. So keep working increases. When I finish, I'm going to turn my video back on and I'm going to mention how many rows I made in total for increases, and we're going to see how to work the rest of our jacket. I've completed crocheting my increases, and we did together a total of 3 rows, and I worked an extra 7 rows off camera, so I have a total of 10 rows of increases. So the top part is a total of 10 rows. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to put our top part together. So we're going to crochet around to close up the sleeves, and from here on we're going to work the body of our jacket. So in order to do that, I want the side that I'm going to start crocheting on the right side. Oops, sorry, I want it to be on the right side, right over here. And what we're going to do is I am going to join together the 2 slip stitches on the right side. So by doing this, I have half of my jacket, and I'm going to join together the 2 left side stitch markers, and the other half of my jacket is right on here as well. So see how the top part of our jacket has been completed. Now I'm going to attach those two stitch markers together and join those two stitch markers together as well, so I don't get confused. Now, in order for you to see how many rows of increases you'll have to make, I didn't know how many rows I needed myself as well. So what we're doing as we keep crocheting, we want to be measuring the armhole opening over here and our chest. So we want a total of 10 centimeters for an armhole for this age, for 1 and 1.5 years old. So see how my armhole opening right here is a total of 10 centimeters. So this is as big as I want it. Now the chest circumference for this age is a total of 48 centimeters, but the circumference, which means around. So if I want to just measure from the one stitch marker to the other, I only want to take half of that measurement, so a total of 24. So if I measure from one stitch marker to the other, I have a total of 24 centimeters. So if you follow the correct steps for the age that you want the chains to begin with, as you go through the rows, keep measuring the armhole and the chest opening to see if you are making the correct amount, the correct number of increases that you need, the correct number of rows. Okay, so I did a total of 10 rows in order to get a 10 centimeter armhole opening and a 24 centimeter chest measurement. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start row 11, in which we're going to close up the sleeves. So I have my chain 1 to begin with, so just turn your row. Okay, don't let those stitch markers to confuse you. I just turn my work. I'm not doing anything different. And I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch up until I reach my stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and our last stitch 20. Now we have reached our stitch markers, so I'm going to take them apart. Okay, the stitch marker came out. That's okay. So just take apart your slip stitches, your stitch markers, sorry. So take apart your stitch markers, and now I'm going to take out the stitch marker, and instead of doing an increase, I am only going to crochet 1 double crochet in that stitch. And now I'm going to close up again the same way it was when I have the 2 stitch markers joined together, okay? So I'm going to take out this stitch marker as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap the yarn around my hook once, put your hook in the same exact stitch in which we just worked our double crochet, and put your hook in the stitch that you just took out your stitch marker from. Okay, so we have our hook in the stitch that we just worked the double crochet, and in the stitch that you just took out your stitch marker from, and work a double crochet. So just grab the yarn and pull it through both stitches, grab the yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, grab the yarn, pull through the last 2 loops, and we joined our 2 pieces together and we made a double crochet joining the two sides. So let's go ahead and do this step one more time. Okay, I worked a double crochet in the stitch that I always work my increase. I'm going to put my hook in the same exact stitch. Okay, and this is how we had it closed up with the two stitch markers joined together. So put your hook in the same stitch that we have the stitch marker on the opposite side. Grab the yarn, pull it through both sides, both stitches. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through the last 2 loops. So we're done crocheting on this side. Now turn your work. And now we're crocheting on the back of our jacket. This is the back, okay? So now put your hook in the same stitch that we just went through. See, went through the front piece and the back piece where we had the stitch marker. So put your hook in this stitch that we had the stitch marker on this side. Okay, you can see the double crochet coming through here. So put your hook in the same exact stitch right in here and work one more double crochet. So this is our sleeve opening now, and we have joined the one side. Now go ahead and work one double crochet in every stitch up until you reach the next stitch marker. When I reach the stitch markers, I'm going to turn my video back on. I've completed crocheting the back part and I've reached my stitch markers again. So I'm going to take them apart. I'm going to take out the stitch marker, and right in here where I had my stitch marker, I am going to crochet only one double crochet. Now I am also going to take out the stitch marker on the opposite side. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my hook once, put your hook in the stitch that you just made your double crochet. Okay, and this is how we had joined our piece together when we had our stitch markers joined together. So this is what exactly we're following. Okay, now put your hook in the stitch that we had our stitch marker on the opposite side. Grab the yarn, pull it through both stitches, and now we're going to work a double crochet. So grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. So we joined this piece as well. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. In the same exact stitch that we worked our double crochet, put your hook in that same stitch on the front piece, and in the same exact stitch in the opposite side where we had our stitch marker. Grab the yarn, pull it through both stitches, grab the yarn, pull through 2, grab the yarn, pull through 2. So we have finished crocheting on the back side of our jacket. Now turn your work, and in the same exact stitch that I just attached the 2 stitches together and we worked the double crochet in both stitches, on this side I am going to put my hook in this same stitch that I had the stitch marker on, okay, and work one double crochet. So I have one double crochet on the back side on the stitch that we usually worked our increases, then one more double crochet to join them together, and on the opposite side one more double crochet on that same stitch that we usually work our increases. And now we're going to work one double crochet in each stitch up until the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and my last stitch 20. Okay, so we have completed the top part of our jacket, and from now on we're going to be crocheting the body. So we have our 2 sleeve openings, okay, right over here, and now we're going to be crocheting the body from here around to here, again from here around to here, and from here on you can choose to work any stitch that you prefer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working double crochet up until the end, so every beginner can follow this video. But if you are an intermediate or an expert, you can go ahead and choose any stitch that you prefer. You can work the waffle stitch, you can use the basket weave, the 3-dimensional stitch that I've showed. You can use any stitch that you prefer to work from here on up until the end of the jacket. What would be a nice suggestion, which is very easy but very beautiful as well, is to make it stripes. You can work the row of double crochet that we just did, and then a row of single crochet with white yarn, then a row of double crochet with the blue yarn, with the baby blue, then a row with white yarn working single crochet, and up until the end you'll have a very nice stripy jacket. So go ahead and choose any stitch that you prefer. You can use just double crochet as I will do, and once I finish working the total length of my jacket, I'm going to turn my video back on and see how to continue from there on. So what I'm going to be doing just now is just be working rows of 1 double crochet in every stitch around. So starting from here to here, and then from here to here, up until you have the total length that you want for the jacket.